Hello everyone, my name is John Hulquist. I'm a student at Metropolitan State University. This is a video for educational purposes only. It's for my class ICS382 Computer Security with Faisal Kaleem. Please do not attempt what I'm going to do. I'm not liable for any damages resulting from disobeying this disclaimer. For my video project, I will demonstrate how to perform an attack against a WordPress blog. The blog is hosted by myself on my local area network. Um, the server operating system is Ubuntu 10.04, installed with LAMP, FTP, Samba, pretty much all the normal services you would find on a WordPress blog server. For greater simplicity management, I used Webmin to help manage the server. The attack machine I'll be using is Kali Linux with Armitage. And I think first it might be best just to go over some recon. So we'll go do that. Okay, so on to the recon. First let's visit the website. The target is www.webdi.com. It's a domain name that I have hosted. And I have the DNS records pointed to my public IP address. And I have my router forwarding all HTTP traffic, port 80, pointed to my internal web server 192.168.1.11. So we'll just check out the website a little bit here. Okay, WordPress site, do that. Check out the web source, see if we can figure out anything here. Okay, here we go. Looks like we have an internal IP address. The WordPress installation was hard-coded to that, so that's nice for anyone looking to gain access. And I'm not really seeing anything else, so we can move on there. One thing that might want to take notice of is looks like it's not secure going under SSL, encrypted traffic. Probably won't mean much outside of the fact that whoever's running this website may not be concerned too much about security, so that might give us an indication that it might be easier to target. So we figured that out. One thing that I found that I kind of liked, a website, hackertarget.com, has a great scanner for WordPress. And you just type in the domain name and it'll do a security check for you. And it gives you a lot of nice information. Tells you what web server it's running. It's running PHP 5. Gives you the external IP address. Here it gives us user ID, which will be helpful when we're looking at usernames and passwords. Okay, so here's some externally linked. Okay, so it's linking the internal IP address. That's good. It'll, if we didn't see that in the source, we might not have found that. So. Okay, it doesn't look like we're gonna have, like, this website's gonna give us too much more. One more thing I like to do is just to do a who is lookup. It tells us who owns the website, gives us a contact number, name, email address, address of the organization behind the domain name. So you can see there, okay, that's me. It's a PC repair shop I ran about 5 years ago. Phone number I don't have anymore. Email address I don't use anymore. So unfortunately for the attacker this time, it's not going to do him much good outside of the fact that, if he were ever to want access to my domain name, he'd have a lot of nice information to get that. Social engineer a GoDaddy person. It happened earlier this year to someone. So maybe they fixed it. Hopefully they did. Make some new policies to prevent social engineering over at GoDaddy. But so now we've done some basic reconnaissance. We're going to want to log everything that we figured out here and go to the next step. Actually, there's one more thing that I wanted to bring up, and that is knowing the file structure of the target. So our target is a WordPress installation. So what I'm going to do is just kind of review what a vanilla installation might look like. So just looking through the files here. Okay, config. That's something that we're going to want to look into. Settings is another one that I'd probably look into if I didn't know it. Password it picks my interest. Admin folder, admin.php, that's something that picks my interest right away. Moderation, maybe, MS admin. All these files would probably set up config. I mean, that's something that picks my interest. Users, these are all files that we might want to get once we gain some access. Okay, so the next step here is we'll open Kali Linux. Here I'll be using Armitage, and we'll add our first host. And we are going to do an nmap scan, figure out what services are running, what services we might be able to exploit. Okay, now that we've run the nmap scan, it says that we can use some attacks that Armitage would recommend. We're not going to do that just quite yet. We're going to review some of the services that are running here. So we can see that we have FTP open, VSFTPD, SSH. We have our web server running, which we knew that was running. We have webmin. Okay, so that's nice. What's nice about Armitage is this module hierarchy here that we can use. So first, maybe what I'll try doing is looking if we have any exploits we can run. Here we go. VSFTPD. Okay. Exploits backdoor. Backdoor is introduced 2.3.4 June 30th. July 1st. Okay. Normally I would go ahead and try this, but I did in preparation for this video, and I know that it doesn't work, so we're not gonna mess with it. I was just showing the capability here. Next thing I would do is go through the different services, try and find an exploit that worked. We'll try webmin. See if we can find something there. Okay, module exploits and arbitrary command 1.5.0. Okay, yeah, we might have something here. Okay, do we know what version of Ubuntu is being run? Well, I know what version, but an attacker might not know right off the bat. So we'll go ahead and see if we can launch this attack. No. Okay, the following options failed: username and password. So that exploit didn't work. My next step would be okay, we don't have any exploits we can run through Armitage. Let's just try the old-fashioned brute force attack. And okay, so basically, we know that they're running FTP. We know that they're running SSH. So we have a few options from our module list here. We're gonna go with FTP first. And we're going to go down here to scanner, FTP login. We're just going to drag and drop that. Kind of a nice graphical user interface module. Pass file. Here we're going to find a password file. So this is kind of where all the recon that we've done so far would come in handy. We found a few usernames out there. Johnny, we know the person that registered the website's name is John. Email address was j0hnx777. That's a good username to try. So we have a lot of information to go off of. When it comes to the password file, it's you know, there's a lot of randomly generated passwords out there that you can use, but you might want to just create your own. So there's the password file. We uploaded that here. Now we're going to find a username file because that's important too. So what this is going to do is it's going to try. It's going to go through the username word list, and it's going to select one username, and then it's going to run through all the passwords. And then once it gets finished with the one username, it'll go on to the next username and run through all the passwords. Alright, so now we're going to launch it. And now you can see, okay, root, failed, login. Okay, so it's going to, J0HNX777 was my first choice. If I was an attacker, that would be my first choice too. And username to an email address. Most logical. We're going to let this run and come back to it when it's finished.